Every weak man thinks his problem is that he is not good enough, not rich enough, not good-looking enough, not funny enough, not tall enough. He spends his entire life trying to fix the wrong thing, while the real problem sits untouched, unexamined, quietly costing him everything. Machiavelli never wrote about attraction directly, but he wrote about power, about presence, about what makes one man command a room and another disappear inside it. And what he wrote applies to the psychology of attraction with surgical precision. Because attraction is not about your looks or your money. It is about something deeper, something that most men have never been honestly shown. Today, that changes. In this video, we go through 8 of those patterns. 8 specific behaviors that signal weakness. 8 things that make men invisible or unattractive, not because of how they look, but because of who they are being. And for each one, the path out. Not a performance, not a technique, the real thing. Pattern number 1, he needs approval to feel secure. This is the foundation of almost every other weakness on this list. The man who cannot feel secure in himself unless other people are confirming him. He sends a message and immediately checks if she responded. He makes a statement and watches her face to see if she approved. He adjusts what he says based on the reaction he anticipates. He agrees with things he does not actually agree with because agreement feels safer than holding his ground. Machiavelli wrote that the prince, who adjusts his positions based on the approval of others, has no real positions at all. He becomes a mirror, and mirrors do not generate respect. They generate comfort at best. And comfort is not attraction. The approval-seeking man is exhausting to be around, not because he is unpleasant, but because the anxiety underneath his behavior is always perceptible. It creates a subtle but constant pressure on the people around him, a need that cannot be satisfied, because the approval he is seeking from outside himself is something only he can provide. And until he does the work of providing it internally, no external confirmation will ever be enough. The path out is not to stop caring what people think. It is to develop an internal standard that is more reliable than external approval, to know who you are clearly enough that the opinions of others become interesting data rather than essential oxygen. The practice: identify one place in your daily life where you are seeking approval you do not actually need. One behavior you are performing for an audience that could be replaced with something genuine. Start there. The distance between the performance and the genuine thing is the distance between weakness and strength. Pattern number 2, he makes himself too available. Availability is not devotion. Most men believe that being maximally available to a woman communicates how much they care. They answer immediately every time. They rearrange their schedule without hesitation. They cancel things that matter to them to make room for what she wants. They make her the organizing principle of their time, and they cannot understand why. Instead of generating appreciation, it generates something closer to contempt. Machiavelli wrote about the scarcity of attention as a form of power. What is always available is never precious. What must be earned, what requires timing and genuine circumstance to access, carries weight. The man who is always available is communicating something he does not intend to communicate. He is saying, "I have nothing more important than this," which, to the person he is trying to attract, raises an immediate question. Why not? What kind of man has nothing more important? Availability signals the absence of direction, purpose, and self-regard. It communicates that his life has been organized around her rather than around himself. And a man organized around someone else is a man without a center. Without a center, there is nothing to be attracted to. The path out is not to manufacture fake unavailability. It is to actually build a life that is full enough, that your time and attention are genuinely valuable, that when you give them, they mean something, because you are choosing to give them, rather than defaulting to giving them because there is nothing else to give them to. The practice: look honestly at how you allocate your time. Are you building something with it? Or are you making yourself available and calling it devotion? The difference matters, not as a game, as a reflection of whether you have a life worth being attracted to. Pattern number 3, he collapses under pressure. This is one of the most revealing patterns, and one of the hardest to fake your way through, because pressure reveals character in ways that nothing else can. The weak man, when challenged, does one of two things. He either collapses, he apologizes immediately, he abandons his position, he does anything to relieve the tension as quickly as possible, or he overreacts. He escalates, he takes the challenge personally, and responds with a disproportionate emotional intensity that tells everyone watching that his ego is fragile. Both responses communicate the same thing: I cannot be relied on when things get hard. Machiavelli wrote that the prince who loses composure under pressure has already revealed the limit of his capability, because real leadership, real strength, real reliability require the capacity to remain clear and measured when the situation is pressing in from every side. The man who holds his composure under pressure, who can be challenged without collapsing or escalating, who can sit with tension without immediately needing to resolve it on the other person's terms, is rare. And that rarity is felt immediately, not just in attraction. In every significant relationship and professional context a man will ever encounter, the path out is not to perform calm, it is to develop the interior stability that makes genuine calm possible, through knowing your values well enough that challenges to your position are interesting rather than threatening, through understanding that discomfort is not an emergency, through the slow practice of sitting with tension long enough to respond from your best self, rather than your most anxious one. The practice: think of the last time you were challenged or criticized. What did you do? Did you hold your ground? Did you collapse? Did you escalate? The answer tells you exactly where the work is. Not to judge yourself, to know yourself accurately enough to start changing. Pattern number 4. He over-explains and over-justifies. Here is a pattern that is so common most men do not even notice they are doing it. The over-explanation. He makes a decision and immediately provides a paragraph of reasons. He states an opinion and follows it with a defensive wall of justifications. He says no to something and then explains himself for 3 minutes when one sentence would have been more than enough. Every excessive explanation is a performance of one thing: I need you to approve of this. Machiavelli wrote that the man who justifies every decision to everyone is a man who has not yet internalized his own authority. He is seeking permission from the outside for choices that should be made from the inside. And the people on the receiving end of the over-explanation feel it. Not consciously, but somewhere in their nervous system they register: this person is not sure of himself. This person needs me to validate his choices, which immediately places him in a position of seeking rather than offering. And people are attracted to those who offer, not those who seek. The path out is simplicity. Make your decisions, state them clearly. Provide context when it is genuinely useful and not when it is anxiety-driven padding. Learn to let a short sentence stand on its own without propping it up with a structure of justifications designed to prevent someone from disagreeing with it. The silence after a clear statement is not a problem to be solved. It is simply the space the statement deserves. The practice: for 1 week, end your sentences earlier. State your position. Stop. Do not elaborate until elaboration is genuinely requested. Notice how different it feels. Notice how differently people respond to the version of you that trusts its own words enough to let them land without reinforcement. Pattern number 5. He chases. Perhaps the most visible pattern of all, and the one that does more damage faster than almost any other. The weak man chases. When he feels a connection pulling away, he pursues it harder. When she becomes less responsive, he sends more messages. When she pulls back, he moves forward. He interprets her distance as a problem to be solved through more effort. And every additional effort he extends in the face of her withdrawal tells her one thing: I have already decided you are worth more than I am. Machiavelli wrote about the political equivalent of this constantly. The prince who pursues an alliance that is clearly withdrawing does not recover the alliance. He confirms to the withdrawing party that they hold more power, and power confirmed in one direction only ever flows further in that direction. Chasing does not close the gap, it widens it, because it shifts the entire dynamic toward the chaser, needing something the other person has, and need Genuine, urgent need expressed through pursuit is the least attractive energy a man can project. The path out is not indifference. It is not pretending not to care. It is developing enough genuine self-regard that you do not reorganize your behavior around someone else's withdrawal, that when someone pulls back, your first response is to return to yourself rather than to pursue. Because your life, your direction, your purpose, your circle, your own development, all of that is still there waiting for your attention, and a man who returns to himself when someone pulls back is demonstrating something that chasing never could, that he was valuable before they arrived and will be valuable after. The practice. Think about the last time you chased. What did it cost you? Not just in the outcome, in your own self-respect, in how you felt about yourself during the pursuit. That feeling is important information. The version of you that simply returned to your own life, rather than pursuing, would have preserved something worth far more than whatever you were chasing. Pattern number 6, he has no standards. This one is counterintuitive. Most men believe that having no standards makes them more accessible, more appealing, less intimidating. In reality, it makes them less visible. Standards communicate self-regard. They signal that this person values themselves enough to know what they want and what they will not accept. Machiavelli wrote that the man who accepts all terms is treated accordingly. He receives the terms he accepts, and those terms are rarely the best ones available. The man without standards is the man who accepts the relationship on whatever terms are offered, who tolerates behavior that should not be tolerated, who lowers his expectations rather than communicating them, who is so afraid of losing the connection that he loses himself to keep it. And in losing himself, he removes the very thing that made the connection worth having in the first place. Women are attracted to men who have a clear sense of what they want and what they will not accept, not because women want to be rejected, but because standards communicate something fundamental about a man's relationship with himself. They say, I know who I am, I know what I deserve, I know where the line is, and I am capable of holding it. That self-knowledge and self-regard is attractive in itself, separate from anything else. The path out is not to become rigid or demanding. It is to develop clarity about your own values and then behave in accordance with them, consistently. Without apology, the practice. Write down 3 things you will not accept in a relationship. Not what you think you should not accept, what you genuinely will not accept. If you cannot write those 3 things, your standards do not yet exist clearly enough to communicate them. That is where the work starts. Pattern number 7. He makes her his entire world. This is the pattern that most romantic culture actively encourages, and it is one of the most reliable ways to destroy what you are trying to build. The man who makes a woman his entire world, who centers his happiness around her, who structures his life to revolve around her presence and approval, is not being devoted. He is being dangerous to himself and to the relationship. Machiavelli wrote that the prince who places the entire stability of his kingdom on a single alliance has built on sand, because any single point of dependency is a vulnerability, and vulnerability in any domain can be exploited. The man whose entire emotional world depends on one person places an unbearable weight on that relationship. It cannot carry what he is asking it to carry. It was never designed to. And the person he has placed at the center of his world, rather than feeling cherished, begins to feel trapped, responsible for his happiness in a way that is not love. It is a burden, and burdens push people away. The attractive man has a full life that does not center on any one person. He has friendships, pursuits, development, purpose. He is genuinely glad she is in his world, but she is not the world. She is a significant part of a life that was already substantial before she arrived. And that existing substance, that fullness, that evidence of a life well built, is one of the most consistently attractive qualities a man can demonstrate. The practice. Look at your life honestly. If she were gone tomorrow, what would remain? What are you building that belongs entirely to you? What relationships, pursuits, and purposes exist independent of her presence? If the answer is not much, that is not love. That is dependency. And dependency is not a foundation either of you can actually stand on. Pattern number 8. He does not invest in himself. The final pattern, and the root of most of the others. The man who does not invest in himself is the man who has quietly communicated that he does not believe he is worth investing in. Machiavelli wrote that the prince who neglects the development of his own capabilities is a prince who has already begun to decline, because capability does not hold still. It either grows through deliberate investment or it decays through neglect. The man who is not physically developing himself, who is not intellectually growing, who is not financially building something, who is not working on the quality of his relationships, his communication, his emotional depth, his skills and capabilities, that man is in decline, even if the decline is slow. Even if it is invisible to everyone around him, it is visible to him. On some level, he knows he has stopped growing, and that knowledge produces a specific kind of low-grade shame, a sense that he is not quite enough, which then produces the approval-seeking and the over-explanation and the chasing and all the other patterns on this list, because they are all symptoms of the same root condition. A man who has stopped investing in himself stops believing he deserves the things he wants. And people who do not believe they deserve what they want do not attract it. They perform for it. They chase it. They over-explain themselves toward it. And it stays just out of reach. The path out begins with one simple decision: to become someone worth being attracted to, not for anyone else, for yourself. Because a man who is genuinely developing, who is physically capable, intellectually sharp, financially building, emotionally deep, and socially grounded does not need to perform attraction. He simply is it. The practice: name one area of your life you have been neglecting. Physical, intellectual, financial, social, creative. Choose the one with the most honest neglect. Make one concrete commitment to that area this week. Not for anyone watching, for the version of you that deserves to be taken seriously. If this video gave you something real, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to keep going deeper, subscribe. We are just getting started.